We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff. Big game right here in Green Bay. The Packers rocking the all-white unis, taking on the Commanders and Jayden Daniels. And the reason why this is a big game, because obviously everybody likes the Packers this season. They got Micah Parsons. They're a very popular pick for popular people to get to the Super Bowl.
And you know
in the
what?
NFC.
The Packers are a public team, don't
they? Are.
They really
in a big
are.
way.
They are.
But the other team, very quietly, is gaining on him in the popularity. That's because of Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels had a rookie season to remember. But if you ask him about it, you don't want to talk about it. Because according to ESPN.com, they did a long feature on him. Here's what he said about how he played last year and what he's looking forward to build off of it. Here he said, quote, "Last year was last year. I don't like people talk about it to me and ask me about it because it don't mean anything to me. I don't say I get irritated about it, but kind of just moving on to be the present, trying to focus on getting better so I could be better for this year. I got so much more that I want to accomplish. Last year was just the beginning."
I love that. I really do. That's mature. That's not like I mastered the NFL in 1 year. I'm that dog and this. No. The sophomore jinx, that ain't about one person. That's been happening forever.
That's real.
In the NFL. Forever. And you can't even have a better Exhibit A than C.J. Stroud. After his first year, you remember? They were picked for the Super Bowl the next year. Everybody was, oh, my God, C.J. Stroud. And they just added some other players. And look at that. They're loaded. Oh, my God. They took a step back last year. C.J. Stroud wasn't that good. This year, Rob G., I don't have the numbers. But I know that they didn't score a touchdown last week. Am I right?
He was running for his life.
I mean, it hasn't been the same since year one. And all Jayden Daniels is saying is, that was nice. I got work to do. I need to get better. And I'll tell you this. Look, that's all I'm saying. I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything. MLB Bro was about to be popping today.
It is far.
It is gone.
Very nice. John Sterling's retired, but that was a monster.
John Carlo.
MLB,
O.C. Parlo.
There you go. Look at that.
MLB Bro, because you need to know.
That. No, but I like the young man's approach. I mean, I do.
Jayden Daniels to me is sometimes you watch something special and you go like, all right, that looks different. And to me, looking at him and everything I've ever heard, all his old coaches, everything we heard when he was at LSU, the stuff we heard when he was at Arizona State, Herm Edwards had him for a bit there. This kid he's kind of a Kobe in that a maniacal approach. All we ever hear, all he does is football, football, football. All he cares about is football. He's just locked into football. That is his routine, and that's why he's wise enough to know last season ain't got nothing to do with this season. Can't be feeling yourself, can't be smelling yourself. You got to be locked in. And already, game one, he looked like he was locked in. And I think what makes him special, he's got a lot of – you've heard me talk about this before. He's got a lot of starts under his belt before he even got to the league. And also, he is very, very efficient, and his completion percentage is so high. Last season, I think it was 69% completion percentage. So he is scary, and he is special when he gets out of that pocket too. Somehow, as slender as he is, he doesn't take many hits. So he's just locked in.
But I will say this. I fully expect him to take a step back from that first year. I fully expect him not to. There's no way he could repeat that. And you got to remember, there are about would you say 3 games last year they had no business winning.
One was the Bears.
We that Bears, right?
Yeah.
We're always talking about that. But that turned their season around where they had these 3 games where they should have lost or whatever. And I'm not taking anything away from it. I just think it's natural that there is a little step back because they were so high on C.J. Stroud that they picked him for the Super Bowl next year.
A lot of people did.
And then you heard anything about the Texans this year?
No.
0. It went from that to they're going to the Super Bowl to nothing this year.
Their issue now, CJ's. Here's why I don't think the CJ Stroud. I get it. You and I have talked about it all last year. Why I don't see this happening to Jayden. CJ Stroud is for the most part, pocket present quarterback. He has to be in the pocket. He can get out a little bit, move when he needs to. And their offensive line has been terrible last year. He was sacked a whole bunch. He was hit a whole bunch. He was running for his life. And then you look at week 1, same thing. Where Jayden Daniels is a little bit different is his ability and his escapability, his ability to run and get out and get open, and he likes to, and he's fluid as a runner, and this is what adds an element to him. And I think I look at him as somebody who can continue to be on a trajectory to actually get better, not even stay status quo, actually get better. You look at sometimes
he could get better, but I just don't think it's going to be his second year. I think once they have more tape on you, once they know your tendencies, like you scheme differently, and it doesn't mean he has to make an adjustment too. Because they see it, and you know this all the time when quarterbacks are new and they really don't know. It's almost like in baseball, when you first come up from the big leagues, you see a lot of guys get off right away. You know why? Because all they're doing is throwing fastballs. First, you got to show us that you can hit the fastball. Once you do that, now here comes the other stuff, and now that's where guys get mixed up and get sent back down to the minor leagues because they can't hit a curveball or all that stuff. So I just think they will, they'll game
adjust.
plan and adjust for him because you're right. He's two-dimensional.
The one area where he wasn't, and Rob G, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 70% of his passing was to the right side. And I think a lot of teams, you mentioned, all right, he loves to just kind of get out and look to that right. I'm sure he's aware of it, and his team.
Right. You don't think that the other defensive
So I would imagine that
right.
his team hopefully is saying, let's swing it left a little bit. We're not so one-dimensional.
So predictable,
and
right.
predictable. But I just think he's just a unique talent. He's hungry, and he's a film junkie. We hear about he gets there all early, stays late. And I just think he's too talented. And I like that they didn't say, all right, McLaurin, that's too much money, get out of here. They know we want to be good and win now and compete now. So they signed him. They got Deebo Samuels, who came off to a nice week one for him. So they're bringing in guys and keeping guys, retaining guys to keep giving him weapons. So I actually don't think he's going to take a step back. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to win 12 games. They might win 10 or 11, but I don't think he individually is actually going to take a step back.
I don't think his numbers were so good.
They were. I think it was 3,800 passing and then like 800-something rushing.
Yeah, I can't imagine those numbers again.
I think he's in the 90 percentile of that same, meaning maybe it's 37, maybe it's 750. I think he stays right in that realm.
Because even against the Giants, they were okay. I mean, they didn't light it up.
They didn't have to. It was the Giants.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I don't. What were his final numbers? Did we have that?
I got it right here. Week one, he ended up with 233 yards passing, 19 for 30 at a touchdown, and then rushing. He had 30 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's not a big day right there. I mean, but it is the Giants. I'm
sorry, 68 yards rushing.
Yeah, I just think it'll be what you call. I just think it'll be a little bit of a
regression.
A step, yeah, a little bit. I'm not saying he's falling off the cliff or anything, but nobody got more love than C.J. Stroud, and I get it. Injuries happen.
That line
people
is
adjust.
terrible. People
adjust to you, all kinds of stuff. So we will see.
I think he's just a little more uniquely talented, he being Jayden, than C.J. Stroud. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share, do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.